Hey guys, happy Friday. It's Friday, August 26th. I hope you're having a great day. Looking forward to the weekend. You guys, seriously, next Thursday, September 1st, this officially releases. Fresh Out of Amazing will hit stores officially on Thursday. Now, some of you might be saying, well, I have my book already. Well, that's because just to give you a little background, launch dates are kind of soft, meaning what the publisher does, in my case, Harvest House Publishers, will pick a date. Well, they know that they know that they know. Every distribution house will have a copy of the book, and that goes all the way from someone like Barnes & Noble to Amazon to Christian book distributors to even your local bookstores or maybe your Lifeway Christian store or Family Christian stores, other bookstores that will be carrying the book. That's the date they know that they will have been able to get that book to anyone who wants to have it before launch day. So we're going to celebrate next week. I've got a few things planned. I can't wait to invite you into that. But one of the things I wanted to say today was that this book actually exists because of you, and the help that you gave me along the way has been priceless. In fact, when this book became more than a conversation in my own heart, when some very key people in my life began to point to this Fresh Out of Amazing and say, maybe you should dig in there and see what's there. I wasn't sure at the time if it was something that just was a conversation between me and the Lord or if it had a broader audience. And so what did I do? I asked you. I came in, I asked my readers, I asked my followers, I sent out a survey, and I said, hey, does this resonate with you? And I asked, when you feel fresh out of amazing, if you hear that phrase and your heart just catches, I totally understand that feeling of being fresh out of amazing. When you hear that phrase, what's going on in your life? Like, how do you feel and what's going on, the things swirling around in your life? And from that conversation, 5 different ways that women end up in a place where they would say, I am so identifying with Fresh Out of Amazing. 5 different ways. Now, there's probably more than 5 ways, but these were the ones that really rose to the top. This is what you guys told me was happening in your life. And I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of those, what you can expect. It's really the first part of the book. And I thought maybe it would be fun if you could talk to me and maybe in the comments you could tell me which one resonates most with you. But I'm going to do it really quick because I don't want to take up too much of your time. So the first way that women find themselves fresh out of amazing is one that I personally totally relate with right now, and that's when we're burdened and busy. Life comes at us at a really fast pace. And if you're like me, these past couple weeks starting school and fall schedules hitting, burdened and busy has been exactly where my heart has been living. And in that chapter, we talk about how we can lay aside that busyness. And it's not that we get to drop all those responsibilities necessarily, but we get to start from a place where we see those responsibilities as a gift. And the poster girl scripturally for Fresh Out of Amazing and Burdened and Busy has to be Martha. I mean, how could we not talk about Martha? I have such a great love for Martha because in the pages of Scripture, we get to see her have her fresh out of amazing moment, and we get to see Jesus respond to her in the most beautiful and stunning way. And I love his conversation with her. When she has her moment in the kitchen, Jesus enters into that moment, and he speaks truth and grace over her heart. And I just love that story. So the first way that maybe you might be feeling fresh out of amazing is burdened and busy. A second way is maybe you feel trapped in the curse of comparison. And that chapter is called She's Amazing and I'm Not. It's so true that when we are struggling, the enemy likes to parade thousands of people around us and show us all the amazing things everybody else seems to be doing. And I know for me, comparison has really run deep in my heart at different times in my life. I've seen it in my daughters as well. And so I really feel like that's something that resonates with a lot of us. I think comparison is one way the enemy tries to whisper in our ear and discourage us. And even when we're feeling already fresh out of amazing and we see one of God's daughters, things are going well, it's painful, right? It feels like, why not me, Lord? Why is this not my time? So in that chapter, I really had the opportunity to dig into a great and really rich relationship between two sisters named Leah and Rachel. That was such a neat thing to write through, to watch how actually both sisters were fresh out of amazing. They were both stuck and under the curse of comparison. So maybe that's you. Maybe you feel like everyone's amazing and you're not. Girl, I feel that. I understand that completely. The third way that sometimes women find themselves fresh out of amazing is that maybe you feel like your dreams have died. Maybe you had something you wanted so much, something that you'd prayed for, something that you really felt like the Lord was going to bring into your life, and for some reason that fell through your fingertips. That can be really painful, and it can hurt in really a really hidden place in our heart that maybe we're not really willing to share with other people. That Dreams Have Died chapter has, of the people that have already had a chance to start reading it, I've gotten a lot of emails about it, so I think it's striking a chord. And in that chapter, I talk about the story of Hannah. And through Hannah's story, what Hannah really longed for wasn't fame or fortune or position. What Hannah asked God for was she wanted to be a mom. She wanted to have a baby, and she was broke wide open with that longing. And what we get to see in her life is that she had no idea that God wanted to birth a bigger story through her brokenness. Hannah is a sweet story, and I can't wait for you to get to see maybe even glimpses of your own heart through her story. So that's the third way. The fourth way is sometimes we find ourselves fresh out of amazing when we're believing lies. Girls, lies, oh my goodness, lies are so easy to catch onto and to make you think they're true. The enemy is just assaulting us with lies all day long. And in that chapter, I wrote about the woman at the well and her encounter with Jesus and some of the lies that were swirling around in her heart, and how lie after lie she brought forth, and Christ just met her with truth and shot down every one of those lies. And in the middle of her broken, messy, really messy story, he offered her living water. And it's just such a beautiful story. And it was really neat to be able to see how, again, we get to see Jesus interact with someone who is struggling and in a really difficult place. I love getting to peek into that story. So that's the fourth way. And the fifth way that I get a chance to discuss in the book is when you feel like you've lost your song in the valley of bitterness. And some of you who follow me and been with me on this journey know that in the past few years, our family's gone through some really hard times. We went through a long period of grieving and then some struggle with some illness in our family. And there's definitely been times when I have felt like I've been in the wilderness, and through that came very close to losing the song that the Lord had put in my heart so many years ago. That chapter, I have told friends that I probably should have put a warning label on that chapter because it's pretty raw and it's very real, and it's probably the chapter I'm most nervous about sharing with you. But I know that it's there because when you are grieving loss, whether it's the loss of a friend or a family member, or maybe a marriage or whatever it is, when you are going through a grieving process, we definitely feel fresh out of amazing. And in that part of the book, I wrote about Naomi. You know, we all love the story of Ruth, and Ruth is she's like the girlfriend we want to grab coffee with, right? But Naomi, I really feel like so much of that story is really Naomi's story. And she was a woman that was struggling with bitterness and hurt. But in the midst of that, God was weaving sparks of hope through her life. And he did that for me as well as I got a chance to write through that. So that is the first part of the book. That's what you told me. My friends said, hey, this is what's going on in our life. These are the stories. They're your stories. They're my stories. They're the stories of women that have been fresh out of amazing, and how God intersected their life in a way and opened their hearts to an even bigger invitation to say, you know what, now's the time in your life when you get to see me as big. And that's really the basis of the book. That's the first part. The second part of the book is really how God walked me through that and how I think he can walk you out of those places as well. Hey, y'all have been so awesome. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, maybe which way resonates with you. I hope that this encourages you. I wouldn't be here without you. And so I just want to say a big thank you. I'm looking forward to next week when we get to celebrate this work that God's done. Hey, thanks for being so faithful and such an encouragement to me. Know that I'm praying for you. I'm praying that as you draw near to the Lord and his throne of grace, that his mercy will be the song you hear singing, him singing over you day after day and moment after moment. Thanks, friends. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon.